Good morning and welcome to Saturday morning, the 7th of May. Our devotion for this morning is entitled, Consider Him Faithful. Consider Him Faithful. The verse for today is Hebrews, the great faith chapter 11 and verse 11. And by faith, even Sarah, who was past childbearing age, was enabled to bear children because she considered him faithful who had made the promise. Hebrews 11 is called the Hall of Faith of the Bible because it's a roll call of Old Testament heroes who trusted God even in, and maybe especially in, impossible situations. The recurring phrase is by faith. By faith. Faith is simply counting on God's faithfulness. In the case of Sarah, God told her and her husband Abraham that he would give them a son and multiply their descendants. God had appointed Abraham and Sarah as the progenitors of the nation of Israel, through whom would come the Messiah. Sarah is one of the most beautiful women in the Bible. She was so beautiful that Abraham worried someone would kill him and seize her. But as the decades passed, Sarah's beauty faded with old age, and Abraham grew too decrepit to father a child. Yet, God had promised. Would you believe a child, Isaac, was conceived when Abraham was 100 and Sarah was 90? Sarah had only a single promise, and though she wasn't always perfect in the exercise of her faith, she reckoned on God's faithfulness and gained the victory. You and I have a Bible filled with promises. Whenever I'm troubled, I go to my desk, open my Bible to where I've left off reading last time, and say, Lord, is there a promise somewhere in these next chapters for me? Then, with an engineer's pencil in hand, I start reading verse after verse, chapter after chapter. When I find the verse God has for me, I underline it with my pencil and then copy it with a pen into my prayer journal. I might also print it on some cards and post them where I can see them. Recently, I have been hanging on to 1 Thessalonians 5:23. May God Himself, the God of peace, sanctify you through and through, unquote. When my wife Katrina passed away last year, I became a single person again. It's not easy to establish new routines, and I've had moments when I've not done so well. But the phrase through and through has helped me. The word sanctify means, in simple terms, to be set apart for Jesus, becoming more and more like Him. In this new and unwanted phase of life, I've been praying, Lord, sanctify me through and through, unquote. And by faith, I know He is accomplishing that, even if the progress seems slow. In your difficult or impossible circumstances, do as Sarah did. Consider God faithful. Pardon me. Do as Sarah did. Consider God faithful, for He can work in any situation, through and through. He closes with a quote from Charles Wesley. Excuse me again. Sorry for the allergies. Faith, mighty faith. The promise sees and looks to that alone, laughs at impossibilities, and cries, it shall be done. I think we're aware the opening of chapter 11 says that faith is all about trusting in what you can't see. It's about putting our confidence in that which we may not even understand, except it's a promise from God. We can't see how it'll work out. We can't understand how God will see it through to the end, but that's what faith does. We don't put our faith in what we see and what we already know and what we can figure out for ourselves. That's not faith. Well, it's faith in our own selves, and that's not good enough. This is a faith, by faith, by faith. Read chapter 11 of Hebrews today and look at all of the sometimes imperfect people mentioned in that chapter. But by faith, they accomplished great things for God. They kept to their belief and walk in obedience to God, even when it meant great difficulty. By faith, they believed that God would see them through. And that's how we're called to live every single day, by faith. Don't make decisions out of fear. Don't make decisions based on, well, how can I handle it? How can I make it happen? By faith in God is where we live. Blessings to you today. Mothers, have a blessed weekend.